The gladiator who rose from the arena, surrounded by blood and glory, against the power of Rome and fought until the very end, deserves to have his legend told. Crixus, gods of the arena. This is the story of Crixus. Latin, Crixus. The meaning of the name is not entirely clear, though sometimes translated as the one who strikes. Crixus was a Celtic gladiator from Gaul, modern-day France. He lived in the 1st century BC. Like many of his compatriots, he was captured in wars against Rome and sold into slavery. He was sent to the Ludus of Batiatus, a gladiator school in Capua, south of Rome. Crixus earned a reputation as an exceptionally strong and aggressive fighter, known for his courage and relentless style in the arena, where every battle was a test of blood and strength, and the arena itself often a place of death for those who could not withstand the brutal clash. Imagine an arena filled with dust and smoke, metal clashing, and the roar of the crowd echoing through the air as Crixus strikes relentlessly. Every move precise, every battle a test of courage and strength. While sources confirm Crixus was a feared fighter, the exact atmosphere of the arena is inferred from historical reconstructions. Battles in the arena. In the arena, although ancient sources do not record the exact number of his victories, historians assume that Crixus may have had between 10 and 20 successful fights before escaping from Capua. He was most likely a Murmillo, a heavy gladiator armed with a gladius, short sword, and a scutum, large shield. His fighting style was brutal and direct, matching descriptions of his raw strength and passion in the arena. The number of fights and his exact style are not documented, but reconstructed from typical Murmillo combat and historical context. Every fight was a dance of life and death. Metal rang, blood splattered, and the crowd roared as Crixus attacked his opponents without mercy. His foe would fall beneath his blows, the audience silenced in awe, while Crixus stood motionless. Blood and sweat mingled on his armor. The Gladiator Rebellion. In 73 BC, Crixus, together with Spartacus and about 70 other gladiators, escaped from the school in Capua. Historical sources, Appian, Plutarch, and Frontinus, record that they took kitchen knives and improvised weapons, broke out of the Ludus and fled to the slopes of Mount Vesuvius. That escape marked the beginning of the Third Servile War, the greatest uprising against the Roman Republic in its history. The night was thick, and the mountains of Vesuvius hid the fugitives. Kitchen knives became weapons of life and death. Every step in the darkness could have been their last. The sound of footsteps, creaking doors, fear and determination mixed together as Crixus led his men toward freedom. The details of this escape are inferred. Sources confirm the flight, but not the exact narrative. Crixus soon distinguished himself as one of the main leaders. While Spartacus was known for his strategic mind and planning, Crixus symbolized warrior fury, honor and physical strength. His army consisted mainly of Gauls and Germans, who followed him with almost fanatical loyalty. Every action was bloody, every victory brief and merciless, and Crixus led his men with determination that struck fear into the hearts of Romans. The composition of his forces is reconstructed from historical accounts of rebel followers. Crixus led his soldiers through forests and plains as the Romans advanced. Every clash of swords thundered through the air. His men, Gauls and Germans, fought with rage and defiance. The dust rose and their cries blended with the roar of the beast within him. The separation from Spartacus. After a series of victories against Roman forces, a rift grew between Spartacus and Crixus. Spartacus wanted to lead the army across the Alps, return the slaves to their homelands, and avoid further conflict. Crixus, on the other hand, thirsted for battle. He wanted to remain in Italy, take revenge on the Romans, and prove the might of the rebel gladiators. Conflict and passion burned in his eyes as he looked toward Italy, the land he longed to free by the strike of his sword, while Spartacus chose the path toward the Alps. The warriors parted ways, but the seed of discord continued to smolder. Their armies divided, which later weakened the rebellion. Similar divisions were recorded later, when Gannicus and Castus split from Spartacus and led their own forces against the Romans. Each separate faction was like a spark in the night of war, ready to explode in new clashes with Rome's might. The death of Crixus. Crixus led his troops through southern Italy, but the clash with the Roman consul Lucius Gellius Publicola ended tragically. In the Battle of Mount Garganus, around 72 BC, Crixus was defeated and killed. On Mount Garganus, the sun set over the bloody field as the Romans surrounded Crixus. He struck and fell, but his spirit remained unbroken. Every blow, every wound bore witness to his fearlessness. His fall did not mark the end, but became a symbol of courage and freedom remembered for centuries. His death was a heavy blow to the rebels. According to Appian, Spartacus held a gladiatorial fight in Crixus's honor, in which captured Roman soldiers were forced to fight to the death, as a symbol of vengeance and respect for his fallen comrade. The death of Crixus and the terror he inspired in the Romans became legend. Historical significance. Crixus remained a symbol of a warrior who never surrendered, a man who did not bow to the empire even when faced with death. Historians often call him the other side of Spartacus. While Spartacus represented freedom and strategy, Crixus embodied pure strength, defiance, and warrior passion. His name was remembered for centuries alongside Spartacus, Oenomaus, and Gannicus, as part of the brotherhood that rose from the arena against the power of Rome. Each of these figures carried their own scars and stories, together writing the bloody history of rebellion. The heroic tone of these narratives is a reconstruction based on ancient sources. In culture, Crixus appears in many modern portrayals, most notably in the series Spartacus 2010-2013, where he is played by Manu Bennett, depicted as a passionate, brave, and impulsive gladiator, very close to the description found in ancient sources. Historically, he remains a real but not fully explored figure, whose life was written in blood, battle, and glory, and whose death inspired Spartacus to continue the war to the very end. The arena, the fights, and his unrelenting spirit make him a symbol of resistance that transcends time. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell. The next legend awaits. A story you won't want to miss.